Blink. Hello there, friends. How are you? It is a Thursday, and I've got a bunch of chores I've been working on. My friend Sean rode his little e-bike up from Cotopaxi to help me move a hay feeder that I can take delicious Icelandic sheep tomorrow. And I've just got so many chores to do. And then I was thinking, I kind of feel like a nap. And so I decided to make myself a latte instead. And then I thought, as I've thought several times over the last, week or two, I should really read chapter 11. It's about time I read chapter 11. So I thought I'd drink my latte and just record chapter 11 for you real quick so I can get that out there into the world when I go to town tomorrow and there is intranet. So here we go. I don't even remember what the heck happened in chapter 10. I feel like that was maybe a month ago that I read that. Let's find out. How did I get cashew nut butter on there? Dancing with Demons, a love story by Laura L. Holloway. That's me. La, 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 la. Chapter 11. It's apparently called The Muck. It's gonna get messy before it gets clean. A quote by Tim Ferriss in conversation with Brene Brown. Tuesday, April 6th, 2021, 4:45 a.m. I remember climbing into bed around 9 p.m. after not feeling like taking a shower, and my sheets are overdue for a change anyways, so who cares about a little leftover sweat and barn dust from hiking with Brandy in the morning, cleaning stalls in the afternoon. I feel all discombobulated anyway, haven't even been making my bed. Anzu goes upstairs during the day and sleeps on my exposed sheets and pillows, shedding on them with her undercoat now coming out in celebratory tufts for spring. She is glorious, and all parts of her are welcome here, as the saying goes. In my eyes, even her soft undercoat of bunny-like hairs. I'm gonna read that sentence again. She is glorious, and all parts of her are welcome, as the saying goes, in my eyes, even her soft undercoat of bunny-like hairs. Besides, it's my fault if I'm not making my bed. It's my fault if I'm allowing myself to roll with this state of feeling all wackadoodle, of flopping around like a fish out of water, not allowing myself to just get my bearings and drag myself by my fins back to sea. I can blame menopause and these freaking hot flashes. I can blame childhood trauma or that stupid lady who handed her biting dog over to me. I can blame my hypersensitivity to everything, always. I can blame no longer living in the countryside, missing those owls out in the forest and the deer in my yard. I can blame the noisy vehicles that I hear now outside my townhouse. I can blame being surrounded by too much humanity. None of that is helpful, really. None of that will get me to where I'd like to be in the end. And where would I like to be, really? I mean, right here, right now. I'd like to be right where I am, sitting at my mother's antique table, the one I understand she sanded and finished by hand, in this townhouse that my dad had built to his refined specifications after moving here from Wisconsin after his divorce and wanting to be near his girls. He inhabited this townhouse. He inhabited this townhome profoundly. Oh my gosh. I think I need more coffee. Hang on. He inhabited this townhome proudly for the few years before he died. I'd like to be present with the sounds of water trickling from the filter in my son's beloved aquarium, my belly full of coffee and goat milk, shelves full of so many books that would be helpful, no doubt, to read, clients wanting to book pet care already for the summertime, and plans of my own blossoming for a drive to the Midwest with my glorious teenaged son. Life continues to unfold curiously, beautifully, weirdly, the strangest mystery, the unraveling of the greatest ball of yarn. I know what I ought to do intellectually to take care of my body and my soul. I have all the knowledge. I have so many tools and new insights pouring in on me daily. At the closing of our hike yesterday, Brandy asked about the qualities I seek in my friendships and in a romantic relationship. I know she questions my choice to continue interactions with Bjorn despite his elusiveness, his unpredictability, his seeming inability to follow through in ways I would like him to. He has his own ways of going about things, that's for stinking sure. Like the day he pulled over on the highway on his way to the dump, read my wordy message about wanting him to let me in. He replied, explaining the scenario, saying he was giving me his whole heart answer beside the road. Quote, "This is me letting you in." Brandy asked why I don't date men older than me, who might offer more stability. It makes me think of the 18-year difference between myself and Bear, who had been so wonderfully into loving me, and he, the younger one, and how at the time I became acutely aware of that same 18 years between my dad and his then wife. How she teasingly called my dad old man, which made me cringe every time. It became a cautionary tale, though I'm sure there must have been challenges besides their age difference. They eventually divorced, spurring my dad to move to Colorado to, quote, be near his daughters, after more than a decade away from us, and for what would become the last years of his life. I look at Bjorn and see him in his prime, though he sometimes laments feeling old, which makes me wary of the romantic draw between us. Though our 9-year difference is not far off from many of my significant romantic relationships, as I season with age, the span feels more pronounced. If what I desire in my heart of hearts is truly a life partner, rather than just a lover for now, something I've never been good at, loving the feeling of falling in love, I will always get attached. Well, then, I would be wise to stick to prospects closer to my own age. Excuse me. I was praising a 5-year-old the other day for covering her cough. I was like, "Oh, that's fabulous. Look at you. You're like a vampire." She was awesome. But who knows? Women tend to live longer anyway. Also worthy of considering, there seem to be so few souls to begin with who I am drawn to in such a way. Perhaps if Bjorn and I were to become lovers even for a shortish while, that could be worthy of exploration. Take it easy now, little girl. One day at a time. Wednesday, April 7th. Bling. Wednesday, April 7th, 2021, 5:56 a.m. There's a tea thing. One who brings happiness to others will find it. That's the wisdom that just fell out of my book. My counseling session yesterday morning was hard. It is so difficult for me to stay connected with all these uncomfortable feelings, with the anger and frustration, with all the insecurities, the doubt, the shame, the fear. Isn't this why I did isn't this why I did the freaking Hoffman process? Though it seems now that the process was just a taste, merely an opening of a door for me to walk through to a new realm of possibility, supported by lovely humans and eating delicious food along that way. Still, there are all the old patterns and inclinations which cling to me, these old ways of being and feeling, of stepping gingerly and fearfully through life. There are all these things which tug at me constantly, these apprehensions, these doubts. I found myself sobbing for just a moment in Joan's presence, then collecting myself again. She says to stay with that feeling of wanting to just not feel this way. But no. Protector steps in, says, "Oh boy, that's quite enough now. Gotta pull it together. Gotta keep it together. Gotta be strong. Gotta do it on your own, baby." I had an insight, an impression of Ashaya as little baby girl, as from my journey, realizing she is just like me. And part of me wants to protect her, to keep her safe. Another part of me gets frustrated with her, gets annoyed and angry when she needs too much, when she is too ruckusy or doesn't mind my commands, or is licking her bum in my bed. So gross. I feel anger toward her, then I feel angry at myself for not being kinder and more patient with her, for being a terrible mother. Just like with Fisher, I get upset with him, then angry with myself for being a terrible mother. And where is my mother? Where was my mother? Why did she leave me and never come home? Was it because there was something wrong with me? The little girl part of me wonders. Or was it because she was not a good mother? Even the thought feels like blasphemy. Obviously, I know it is not my mother's fault that she died. I know that she would have wanted to be there for her babies and for her soulmate, my father. Obviously, it was not her fault, and still. As a little girl, just 3 years old, how was I to know? I did not understand. I remember being on the stairs in our old house on Bagley Parkway in Madison. I remember my dad being angry with me and me feeling frightened and sad. I asked him when Mommy was coming home. I remember him turning away from me, softening a bit, to tell me she's not coming home, that Mommy has died. I didn't know what that meant, what it meant, that Mommy had gone away forever. I don't remember what happened next, but I remember feeling confused and alone. The feelings which have informed my life, the feelings which set my stage. It is no wonder I am compulsively drawn to a man like Bjorn. Jesus, he is so much like my father. Ivy just moaned in the kitchen. Oh, you're a good girl, Ivy. Strong, tall, and handsome to the eye, wanting to prove himself, to be valued, and of service to others. Then there is his underbelly, simultaneously guarded and wanting to be known. The ever-present push me, pull you. The kindness coupled with distance, self-doubt, elusiveness. Excuse me. Bjorn confided once that he's always hardest on himself. It makes perfect sense and seems crystal clear to me this morning that the little girl on the stairs who feels sad and alone, who wants her mommy to come home, she also wants her daddy to protect her, something he's unable to do in his own state of grief and despair. He is trying to get through this pain too. So the little girl grows up feeling frightened and alone, disconnected from a world which seems scary and unavailable to her. The daddy who lashes out in his pain and rage, who frightens and hurts the little girl. It makes sense that, trying to right those wrongs, she grows into a woman who is drawn to an elusive man, a single father who represents his daughter's noble protector. He also represents the man-child, who himself needs loving and nurturing. Yes, indeed, that makes perfect sense to me, psychologically. It also makes sense to my heart. Did you hear my stomach grumble? Sorry, I'm not doing I'm not staying focused, am I? Then to step back and recognize Bjorn is not the father figure I can repair my childhood through. He is not my fantasy lover, partner, who can heal those wounds and magically make me whole. He is his own glorious and complicated version of his own wounded little boy self, grown into this man who is making his way in the world, who, like me and like everyone else, is just doing the best that he can. Monday, April 12th, 2021, 6:35 a.m. or so. I'm so grateful for my little weekend trip to Santa Fe with Wendy to explore some culture and museums, to hear the Native American drummers in the downtown park, to watch the hoop dancers, and to buy their CD called Lightning Boy, after the dancer's young nephew who had died, to watch all the humans doing their various human things, whether or not these things resonated with me, to enter the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum and feel immediately awash with emotion, nearly brought to tears. These are her actual paintings, I thought. These are the actual images born of her paintbrushes, held by her hands. All my life, I have seen these images as an artist my Nana deeply admired. This woman I have been so curious about since I first began learning of her in earnest, when I attended the alternative high school, Malcolm Shabazz, when I first began to feel as though she could be something of a role model for me, for so little of her that I knew. And now, all these years later, in the presence of her actual work, I was amazed, I was in awe, I was deeply moved, to say the least. Remember this feeling. Let this inspiration linger profoundly, let it ring true, and help to motivate me throughout my days, with life so fleeting and precious. I do not wish to waste a single moment of it, bogged in the mire of fear or depression or malaise. Please, please, please help me seize every gifted moment of the profound glory of the rising sun, of the birds who must be out there singing in those trees across the rocky field, even if right now I can't hear them. All these precious gifts laid before me by the universe in every moment. Please, oh please, let me recognize them and be grateful. Let me be glad. Let me embrace this inspiration, this motivation, this opportunity to live a full and open-hearted life that I choose, of creativity, of purpose, and light. Please, please help me, spirits, creators, angels, guides, all who are present in the now and always forever. Please stay with me, support me in my quest, in my ongoing journey. Please guide me in my striving to lead a full and good life. Thank you. What a gift this all is, truly. And truly, I am grateful for the reminders, for the guides. Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. What I posted on Facebook the other day after being on it for far too long. Quote, never going to be one of those makeup girls. Never going to get my legs or any other bits of me waxed. Always going to have a little horse or goat grime under my fingernails. Always going to have dog nose prints Jackson Pollocked on my windows and fur on everything I own. Never going to know just what to wear or what to say to be polite. Going to feel self-conscious about carrying an extra few pounds, but still overindulge when I'm lonely and alone. Going to cry when I mean it. Going to laugh too loud sometimes. Going to curse inappropriately on occasion without realizing. Going to run a bit late most of the time. Going to get scared or angry or insecure. Going to get heady or wordy or dig too deep or push too far. Going to love too hard sometimes. I tell you what. Going to growl like an animal when I'm pissed off. Going to act like a total dork and make dumb jokes too. Going to fall on the floor, rolling, kicking, and clutching my sides because I'm laughing so freaking hard. Never going to apologize for who I am or who I strive to become. Love me like that, I tell you now. Or let me bless you and send you on your way. Monday, May 10th, 2021, 4:44 a.m. That's a good number. The cat purring beside me on the guest bed. The U2 song, All I Want Is You, playing along in my head to the montage scene in the film Reality Bites. So emotional. If you don't know what I mean, go watch the film. And oh my goodness, falling asleep last night with so many images in my mind, with my lips red and swollen from passionate kisses, with my limbs stretched and sore from good use. Though my stretchy pants stayed decidedly in place, if there was any question as to whether Bjorn and I could be, physically, sexually compatible, the answer is a resounding hells yes. Our strengths and our submissions, our gives and our takes, the way we move together so easily, the way our mouths, our legs, our hips fit together perfectly. My God, it feels as though it's been forever since I've experienced that with someone in an honest and connected way. It has been years for certain since I have felt the gentle exploration of innocence rise into a straining, heavy breath. Sorry, I gotta collect myself. It has been years, for certain, since I have felt the gentle exploration of innocence rise into a straining, heavy-breathed devouring of true passion, of desire. Something which rises not from the primal urge to fuck or to procreate, something which rises from the very core of the earth through our bodies and our souls, longing to connect, to trust, to express it in its most truthful and explosive terms. Love. To give that and to receive it. To stay present in that essence with another being of flesh and blood, rather than to be pulled away by fear. At least that is how it felt for me. It felt good. This, our first solid exploration of connection, of vulnerability, of trust. It felt good and comfortable and easy. I was able to nurture him, and he was able to receive gratefully. I played Iron and Wine on the little boombox in my room, feeling comfortable singing along softly with the words as I worked his beautiful muscles and bones. It felt so simple, so fulfilling to me, that blessed touch, me in my power, home. Ivy's snoring. She's putting her to sleep. Not interested in the sexy bits. Later, lying on our bare backs with legs entangled, I declared to him outright with a soft smile, I have a hard time trusting people. Me too, he replied quickly. Well, maybe we can learn to trust each other, I said, knowing full well that such a thing requires experience and time. What a very interesting Mother's Day. Pause for refreshments. I see goats galloping around. What's going on out there? It's windy. Another interesting thing earlier, while trying to consciously let go of my attachment to Bjorn's arrival, he had been ambiguous about what time, stating other commitments that had to be fulfilled first. I sat myself down on the landing of the stairs, facing the bookshelves. I was drawn to the book Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, and opened it randomly to chapter 2, quote, The Loss of Innocence. It spoke of how when you're a young child, you are full of love and joy, expressing it through exuberant connection and play. Sometimes our mothers or fathers punish us for being too energetic or excitable, so we begin to lose our trust. We don't understand why we are being punished for the joyous expressions which flow so freely from us. I was thinking about the whole mother-father trust thing, thinking about why it is such an intense trigger for me to feel as though I'm waiting on a man who I'm not convinced is going to show up, then feeling utterly wrecked when he doesn't, a recurring theme for me with Bjorn. After reading for a little while, I decided to lay on the sofa and listen to a guided transcendental meditation, which has no words, only sound. I ended up having a vision, or a dream of sorts. It was as though I was being born. I could hear my mother's heartbeat all around me. I was surrounded by safety and warmth. I was being guided toward a light. Then I was emerging from the nurturing warmth of her body. Then the images became blurred, and she was gone. Shift to an image of being in our house at Bagley Parkway at night, and Daddy was away on a date. My sisters and I were supposed to be sleeping, but I carried my giant stuffed Snoopy dog to my dad's bedroom and climbed into his bed, where I fell asleep while waiting for him to come home. I remember the first time he carried me back to my own little bed. I remember him tucking me in. But after that first time, if he found me asleep in his bed, he made me walk back to my room by myself. I felt abandoned, betrayed, and stopped going to his room on the nights he was away. I had forgotten all about that, but in remembering through the dream, I knew it was true. The feelings of it were true. On the sofa back in present time, I wept, tears streaming down my face. I felt anxious then, though the relaxing sound meditation in my headphones played on. I reached over to the coffee table, looked through bleary eyes at my phone. There was a message from Bjorn, asking if it was okay to head over now. I wiped away my tears, collected myself, and texted in reply, yes. And so concludes chapter 11. Ivy's still asleep. Yay, good. Okay, thanks for being here. I'll see if I can't get this out into the ether, onto the YouTube tomorrow. Lots of thoughts. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Hit like, subscribe, leave comments if you like. I always appreciate it when you do. Yeah, just really, really grateful to be here. Fuck, so many things that I love. People I love, animals I love. Love this place. Really grateful to get to read my book to you. Thanks for letting me practice. so I can do it really well when I do the official audio. Okay. See you. Bye. Oh, where's the stop? There it is.